This is TW Battles doing online commentary for Napoleon Total War. Let's take a look at my army. One unit of Cossack cavalry, some Jaegers, 6-pounder horse artillery, looks like 2 or 3 units of Opolcheny, and hidden in the woods here, 5 units of musketeers. They're just starting to advance forward there. You can see some of those units are hidden. A unit of grenadiers, 1 unit of lifeguard foot, the awesome unicorn gun, 2 units of Russian Jaegers, a unit of a lifeguard horse, and another unit of Cossack cavalry. And let's take a quick look at my general unit here, running by, leading their troops into battle. Let's take a look at my opponent, the United Netherlands. We have 1 unit of Dutch flankers, some Nassau Jaegers, those are both skirmishing units, some Carabiner cavalry, light dragoons, nice uniforms. Let's see, a unit of Dutch flankers, 7-pounder artillery, 3 units of line infantry. There they are. Get a look at some artillery fire striking near there, shaking the ground. Love the way those flags sway in the breeze. And advancing on my extreme left flank, some Nassau Jaegers, some grenadiers, militiamen, and 1 more unit of grenadiers. And hiding in the woods back there, it's another unit of carabiner cavalry and 12-pounder foot artillery. So you can see here there's a very spread out wide battle. I have my Opolcheny advancing on these Dutch flankers, and you're going to see these guys rout quickly. You don't want to be meleeing with Russian infantry. They'll pretty much get the best of you, especially when faced with a skirmishing unit. You can see some of my other units laying some fire here. The way that guy's holding that flag and that sword, it's amazing. You can see I took some artillery fire there. Some guys are just starting to get up, just a little woozy, but I think they'll be okay to go. And we'll get some of my artillery fire, and you see they're firing at a very low trajectory. I probably didn't position them properly, but the cannonball's kind of skipping off the ground but still making its way to its target. And this is pretty interesting. Let's deploy our artillery in the middle of the stream. Good idea, guys. Alright, so we have another unit of Dutch flankers advancing here, and they're not going to get too far. They're facing a lot of fire. I'm not sure what's drawing them in that direction. I think they see my 1 unit of Opolcheny that just crossed the stream there, and they're advancing towards them, but they're just getting murdered from the side there. So pretty ill-advised advance with the with some of their skirmishing units. Here come my grenadiers up through the woods. This is a tough map for me to fight, just because I'm going uphill for the most part, and it's very spread out. And I had to take a very, I'm sure you can hear the glorious marching music there, thanks to one of my modding friends. But I had to take a 3-pronged attack to this battle. The center, my right is defined by this creek here, and my left is defined by some geographical features. So it's a very spread out map. It's very tough on micro, because especially with these larger units that I'm playing, it's really tough to get from one battlefield end of the battlefield to the other. So let's get behind some of these carabiners and watch them as they charge into my cavalry. And at the very end here, they get this final push, raise their swords up, and here we go, right into my Cossacks. And you can see I have a skirmishing unit in there, the Russian Jaegers, and they're gonna, pretty interesting enough, they're going to keep firing shots in this. They didn't really get into melee mode. They just keep firing shots, but they're typically a more effective unit from distance, but it seems like they are doing some damage here with some of these shots, so can't hurt having them there as long as they don't rout. And this is very interesting. You can see we have an overhand spear type of action with the Cossacks, and then the Carabiners are using their swords. You can see one of my guys shooting a horse there. So it's a very interesting cavalry fight here. I'm slowing it down just a little bit at times, just so we can get a good look at some of the action on that. And you can see the Russians are getting the better part of that exchange. To the other side of the battlefield, I have my grenadiers here, exchanging some fire with some of the Netherlands troops that are advancing down the hill. They have some nice cover under those trees, doing a good job of getting some volleys off. You can see some artillery damage there. I believe that was from one of my cannons. Here's my Russian Jaegers, who have a very good range for shooting. Another unit of my Jaegers. And you can see how I'm getting some good fire on the sides of the Netherlands. One unit over here is the Lifeguard Foot is getting the frontal attention of the Netherlands, but my Jaegers are firing in from the side and just decimating these units. You can see the side fire that they're getting here. And whenever you can do that in a battle, it's highly advised. When you can get angles on your opponent. You see there, I just killed the enemy general by a valiant or perhaps stupid cavalry charge. You're wasting your life there, general. But whenever you can get fire from the sides of units, from behind, that'd be a great idea. It's a quick way to rout some units. You can see here a little confusion setting in for the Netherlands army. Some of their units here, the line infantry, are going to go into melee with my Russian Jaegers. There's not a... I'm sorry, those are my Grenadiers. The Grenadiers are a great melee unit. There's nobody I'd rather have in this melee fight right now than this unit. They're made up of some of the larger members of an army, and they're just built for melee, and the Russian army has some of the best melee fighters, not the best shooters, but some of the best hand-to-hand combat fighters, so I'll take this fight any day of the week, even though it seems like I'm outnumbered right there. So nice fight in the middle there, a little slow-mo. There's some artillery blast right there. I believe that might be my artillery, but I'm going to let it keep firing because I kind of like the look of it. Okay, so you can see here my Jaegers are exchanging some fire with some of the Netherlands infantry. And let's take a look at from their point of view. That's some of their Grenadiers. They might be better served rushing my units rather than trying to trade fire with my units. You can see there that both of those units are starting to turn orange or red, which means they're pretty close. Oh, here's a great cavalry charge. Oh, look at that. That's devastating. Got the Cossacks coming in full speed, just decimating that unit. That was a fantastic shot right there. You can see the Cossacks just bowling over those Grenadiers, and you can see how tough the Grenadiers are. A lot of those guys got up, surprisingly enough, but nobody really should have gotten up from that as far as I'm concerned. Okay, you can see here I'm winning on all fronts. We got a lot of the Netherlands army in confusion. They are moving some units forward still, so we'll take a look at some of those little battles. But I have basically crushed their right flank. I'm doing a cavalry charge up on their artillery right here. Let's get a nice look at this. And that might have been my artillery firing in on there, and at some point I thought of turning it off, but I don't know, I kind of like these hand-to-hand combats with some artillery firing around, even if some of my guys are getting killed. It's kind of really adds to the overall effect and feel of the battle. So I'm going to keep that on. Let's do a little slow-mo here, and that guy just kind of had a delayed fall down. I guess he got stabbed and then decided he was hurt and he was going to fall down. And you can see my cavalry just decimating that artillery unit. They're going to go hunt down some of those retreating Netherlands fighters, and you can see here one of my units, my musketeers, just routed another unit, and here's the results. It was a fine battle. I hope you enjoyed it.